Catastrophic thinking doesn't knock. It kicks the door in. One moment you're fine, the next your mind is just sprinting through worst case scenarios like they're already happening. That happened recently to me. I was speaking at a youth camp and the night was powerful. God moved, hearts were open, lives were changed. And then later that night, I'm alone in my room, I'm getting ready for bed, and I catch a glimpse of this spot on my right temple. And it had been there for a little while, getting a little bit darker, I felt like. But in that moment, it just seemed like it was worse. And in a flash, my mind just jumped to what I thought was melanoma. I was like, what if this is melanoma? And I just spiraled. And I didn't reason my way into fear, I just crashed into it. And I don't think I'm alone in this. If you've ever noticed something strange in your body and you've Googled it and you've convinced yourself that within 5 minutes that you've had a life-threatening illness, then you know what catastrophic thinking is like. One observation leads to a storm of conclusions, and suddenly your thoughts aren't just anxious, they are screaming at you. And here's what I've learned. I can't always trust my own thoughts, especially when I'm spiraling. And that's why I've learned to rely on voices outside of my own head. One of those voices is my wife. When I start spinning, I'll ask her, am I being rational here or am I overreacting? And her clarity can stop my spiral instantly. Because when you're in that state, fear doesn't feel just loud, it feels reasonable, but it's not. It's panic wearing a mask. We weren't meant to carry every thought alone. Ecclesiastes says 2 are better than 1. If either one of them falls, one can help the other up. Proverbs 15 talks about plans fail for a lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. I think we were built to help each other, to encourage each other. And that night at camp, I needed that. But what about when no one's there? It was too late to call anybody. And so once the spiral ran its course, I just had to come to God and say, I can't control the spot on my temple. I can make an appointment when I get home, but I just have to place this in your hands, God. And that's where peace found me. That's where He found me. Not because the outcome was guaranteed to be good, but because even if it wasn't, God would still be with me, right? To live is Christ, to die is gain. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Those verses, they describe a peace that a spiral can't touch. And so if your mind is racing today, if fear is writing the end of your story before the first chapter is even done, just pause. Ask someone you trust to speak truth. Or speak truth to yourself, even if you're feeling that you haven't caught up with that truth yet. Because even if the worst case scenario happens, it's not the end. Jesus is, and He's enough.